Hi everyone, it's Friday and it's also the 1st of August. Like, wow, the 1st of August. I know I'm not going to say about the years flying and stuff like that, but yeah, everybody says the same thing when you speak to them about time these days, that they wish you could put a halt on it and they wish, it would slow down, but unfortunately it does not slow down at all. So the 1st of August, so I think I've got a rough idea what's going to be happening in the shop shortly, because it's the 1st of August and it starts with a C, and it's the thing that I don't like. I can guarantee, because the shops are always way ahead. They're always a season ahead, aren't they? Anyway, I'm not going to talk about the C word today. I am going to try and keep it brief. I always like to try and keep it brief, and then I go off at tangents. So today's poem is called Words Matter, and obviously words do matter a great deal to me because I'm a writer and it's how I express my emotions. Words matter a great deal, and I think the way that you deliver your words also matters. The cadence of your voice would make a big difference. The tone of your voice makes a big difference as to how it comes across. I think in this modern era now that the art of conversation is gone. Everything's texting, WhatsApp, FaceTime. All the young, I'm not a spring chicken, but all the, it's all social media, emojis and slang words. So are the next generation going to be unable, are they going to be like illiterate? I don't know. This is a kind of thing that would concern me if I was a parent, but I'm not, because it's all slang and it's all, nobody talks properly. You can't get through to a human being on the phone, whether it be a doctor, a utility company. It's like you're 20 in the queue and then you wait, you're listening to this nonsense music, and then you finally get through to somebody. So yeah, the art of conversation is dead. Talking to other people face to face is gone. But I know when I come on here I don't want to sound like my granny, and I probably do. I know we have to move with the times, and technology is a wonderful thing, but it's a lot of things that, the connection, the human connection is being completely replaced. And don't even go there with AI. No, don't. So I think when I started writing this poem, the synopsis was going to be from the initial lines that I put down on the paper. The initial lines was probably going to be about me when I was in that relationship, having to keep my mouth shut to keep the peace. I think that was basically where I was heading, and then I probably, as I like to do when I come on here, go off at a different tangent. So as always, take what you want, take what resonates from the poem. my blood test came back, there's nothing, they never found, I'm not diabetic, there's nothing wrong with my thyroid, so I'm no further forward as to this extreme drowsiness that happens to me when I try and sit down and relax. It is a big problem for me at night, particularly as I would like to read at night, because I still have not finished the 2 books that are on my Kindle. But my energy levels have been better this week, and my mood has been fine, and my writing has gone well. I have started collating or curating for my next collection. I have shortlisted so far nearly 60 poems. I usually put 60, 70 in a collection, it just depends. I've not finished curating, I've still to go through some more. And I've not done anything about the one that I want to be an affirmation. So that's where we're at this week. That's where we're at. So I am going to read the poem now, because you know what I'm like, and then before I know it, I've ran on to 15, 20 minutes, and it's just nonsense that I'm talking most of the time. Maybe you don't think it is, but you know, some of it is totally unnecessary to the channel. But as I always say, if it's affected me personally, then I will talk about it. And if it's a subject that I'm interested in, I will talk about it. So, you know, if it's to do with the divine feminine or something like that, I will talk about it. So this poem is called Words Matter, and I'm hoping my phone does not make a noise when I try to read it. A voice once stifled must you learn to speak. Silence is only for the weak. Those who are too afraid to utter words in case they stutter on their lines. For within the mutterings, flaws we may find, and underneath the flaws, there could also be gauze strips that hide unhealed trauma or wounds where slough still resides. For fear of rejection, we should never deny the parts of ourselves that some may view with unkind eyes or dismiss with deaf ears. To suppress is to live in chains. Allow us not to be slaves to societal norms. We need not join the masses, but only in prayer should we remain silent. In a world full of noise, we, too, should raise our voice. Words matter. Without words, there is no point. And towards the end of that poem, also it's basically saying that if it's a cause, like me when I speak about abuse, and Michelle speaks about abuse, if it's a cause that you are highly and got a strong opinion on, or if it has affected you personally, then you must raise your voice, because so many people are afraid to raise their voice because there's so many subjects now that are taboo, and abuse is one of them. And we will never win, as I've always said, and I continue to say, we cannot win the fight against abuse if we continue to pretend that it doesn't happen, because it does, and it happens every day, and it's more prevalent than you would care to admit or you realise. And just because you don't know somebody that it's happened to, it happens. So we must raise our voice in whatever way we can. It doesn't have to be vocally, it can be in words written as I do in poetry. But we must never stifle not only our voices, but we must never stifle any part of ourselves for fear of rejection. Because every part of ourselves, the good parts and the bad parts, make up who we are. And we all have bad parts. There's nobody that can stand and say they are an angel and they have never sinned, because I have sinned and I have made mistakes. But all those parts of me and all the parts that were abused do not make me less of a person. They don't make anybody less of a person. We are whole just as we are, and people must accept us as we are, and if they don't, they're not worth keeping in our life. But most importantly of all, we must accept ourselves as we are, and that is the most important thing. We must accept the parts of ourselves that are not that nice, because to deny them is not, you're just pretending that you're picture perfect and you're blemish free. So nobody's picture perfect or blemish free. And I'm going to leave it there because I am starting to run on. Have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you on Monday. Thanks as always for all your likes, your comments, your shares, and for being here. I do appreciate you all very, very much. And if you have a channel, I will try and pop on over the weekend when I probably have a little more time. I'll see you on Monday. Bye for now.